Ferdinand Kingsley, welcome to An Actor Despairs. How are you doing, brother?
I am doing all right. I mean, full of existential dread and
Yeah,
angst, but those quite fundamental things aside, I'm surviving.
man, you are one of the finest actors. I've been hearing rumblings about you on the stage, man, and Superman, and everything that you've been doing. I wish I live in New York City. I wish it is just across the pond, but I wish I could just
Yes.
come over and see you
Oh
when you're
man, I
doing.
wish I could come over there.
Yeah, yeah. But man, I'm such a big fan of your work. I love you and Victoria. Frankie Telly, what a badass character. Ripper Street, everything you've done. And now today,
Thanks, man.
literally this morning, the Mank trailer comes out.
The Mank trailer
Yeah.
comes out.
Here begins the crossover of the ultimate.
Well, who knows? Who
Oh,
knows?
dude, it's gonna happen.
Well, I consider myself a fortunate jobbing actor, if you're a vaguely jobbing actor in this industry, that's you're doing all right.
Yeah.
If you're working more than you're not working. Um, so have you got an alarm going
Do I? Oh my God.
off?
Gee, that was the
Is
one
that
that told me
is that
to.
your inflate Ferdy's ego alarm?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll pick that back up. So, what did I ask right before that alarm erupted?
You said
So the main
something
trailer
about how
came
many.
out, and yeah, you're about to cross over here, man. And dude, I'm so excited because you're such an incredible actor. And one of the things that's a reoccurring theme on this podcast is the difference between good and great acting. And great acting is like when no other actor in the world could play those roles. And everything I've seen you in, even like things like Dracula that are, kind of more broad and,
Yeah,
are
yeah.
visual. You're superb. And it's like,
Well,
that's why you
that's
Brits are coming and taking all our work because you're so much better than us.
I wish it was us. Now it's the Aussies, and then it's the South Africans. You're bored of us. It's saturated with Brits now.
Yeah, that's true.
Our magical powers have worn off. Our lying about being personal friends with the Queen. That's not cutting it anymore. That's lovely of you to say, man. I'm always very naturally squeamish about praise because I'm British and neurotic. Yeah, it's lovely of you to say. I mean, you're talking about the difference between good and great acting. I mean, we're always just trying to stay on the good side for the
Yeah.
time being, and hope that each job you do, you're a little bit more good or less naff.
Yeah, and just like you mentioned earlier, the coup at the end of the day is working. That's
Yeah.
that's what we're all here to do. So,
God, yeah. I mean, you don't. I mean, you shouldn't. You can if you want. But I don't think you should go into this job being with the goal to be a star. You should go into this job with the goal to be able to keep working until you can't work anymore.
I think that's another, cultural difference between America and British actors, where there, you guys start doing theater and Shakespeare very young, and here, the social media kind of MTV,
Yeah. I
millennial
mean,
zeitgeist is.
I was speaking in verse from the age of 3. That's all. I only speak verse at home.
Yeah, I thought every
Um,
dee-dum.
Absolutely, I woo people with iambic pentameter and rhyming couplets.
Well,
No, I know what you mean. I mean, you've sort of there's always the background of the American dream of you will always you have to achieve greatness or it's not worth having existed, which is I think a
yeah.
lot of pressure to put on a whole nation. Um,
And I think with America, we mythologize our working class, and often in the UK, it's kind of more the aristocracy, and that's kind
yeah,
of you know
yeah. I mean, I don't think that can come back to bite us on the arse in a big way because I think deep. This is going off the subject of acting for a little minute, but I think ingrained into the British psyche is this sort of lords and serfs,
yeah.
at the end. And I think it's kind of personally, I think it's playing out in the way the country's being run at the moment of just
Yeah, Boris.
know your place, small people is a bit. Anyway, look, that's my politics coming in. I think it's
No, no, I
there's
totally
there's a
aligned.
dangerous rift between the sort of overlords and the people. And so I think it's time for us to stop mythologizing the aristocracy a little
Yeah,
bit. He says with
Peaky
inane
Blinders,
letters.
they're doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. But dude, let's start from the beginning, man. So you
yeah.
grew up in the UK. How was that?
It was great. I mean, I grew up in. I'm a walking cliche. So I grew up in Stratford upon Avon, which is Shakespeare's
Yeah.
hometown. I grew up. You can probably hear my dog crying in the next room because
Oh,
I've not paid attention to him for all of 3 seconds. Um,
my dog's the same
uh,
out my door.
Brilliant. He's a little
Yeah.
puppy, and he's
Oh,
wailing, going, "Nobody loves me. Nobody
what kind
cares
of
a
dog?
stroke to me." He's a Whippet Staffy
Oh,
cross.
I got a Shiba Inu.
Oh, I love Shiba Inus.
Yeah.
They're the most deadpan dogs.
Oh, God.
Sorry, I'm easily distracted. Yeah, no, I grew up in Stratford-on-Avon. Basically looking at the theatre. My parents both worked in the theatre. That's how they met. My mum's a director. My dad's an actor. And I sort of was immersed in that world. I used to, when mum couldn't get childcare, I'd go into the theatre with her and sort of sit in the green room. And I think one of the things that enchanted me quite early on would have been that. I've got these early memories of, I think I was playing like a kid part in something at the Royal Shakespeare Company, because they get local kids in to sort of play boy at party, twirling flag or something. And I'd sit like in the green room having my drink of juice and a chocolate bar, and I'd look at all these grown-ups like doing what I was doing as a hobby as their job. You know, they were, as far as I was concerned, they were working all the time. And they were, firstly, they're doing it at night time, which is the coolest time to be doing it, I think.
Totally.
When you're 7 or 8. They were always laughing. They were dressing up in mad costumes. They were going out and telling amazing stories to thousands of people a night. And I just have this, I don't know what night it was, but I have a memory of sitting there with my little juice and going like, they seem to be doing this all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe I should do it all the time. Little did I know that, 90% of actors are out of work 90% of the time.
Yeah.
You come to learn that later.
But that's so interesting. Talk to me, because like I've had a lot of people on whose parents are in the business, and it goes one or two ways, where you reject it and you hate them because it either takes away from your time with them and other things, or you totally, like, you fall in love with it. I think I've had both, and I think hopefully I was about to call myself a balanced person, but Lord knows whether I am. I think hopefully it's given me a bit of a balanced view of the job, at least, because I absolutely love it and have loved it since I was a kid, and I have a sort of child's love of it now. But equally, I knew that it was really tough, and it could be a really lonely job sometimes, and my parents weren't together. Their marriage couldn't sort of last through everything, and Dad was away a lot, and it puts a lot of strain on you're traveling all the time, which is great, but also means that it's hard to put down roots. So I was kind of went into it not just with the fairy tale vision of the job. I had that in my heart, but my brain was also going, the highs and the lows.
You're not going to walk into this and just breeze through your career. You're going to have to sit out long stretches of not working and of being and of trying to separate your self-worth from your work, which is hard, isn't it?
Totally. Yeah, I mean, so when you were young, did you immediately immerse yourself? Because I know in the UK, you guys are much better about having young theater groups and schools and training.
Yeah. I went to a youth theater group called Playbox, which was great and has sort of, I was about to say churned out, but has helped a lot of young actors really find their feet before getting into the industry. As someone who was, not the last time I saw, but when we were at Playbox, I was about 18 and she was about 12, but Sophie Turner was there with me. And,
no way.
And
12 is like when she booked the show, right?
I know, this is ridiculous. She was her brother James, JT, was in my class at school.
That's so funny.
So Playbox was great, and even though it was very much youth theatre, you felt like a little young professional, and I got to go to LA twice taking shows out as a teenager, which makes you feel like the king of the world, because
touring theater shows.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and so you feel independent, you feel like the king of the world, you feel like this is going to be my city at some point.
Totally.
And then when I was 18, I was sort of on the verge of going to
Cambridge, right?
To Cambridge University,
yeah.
And like a fool, dropped out before I went. I mean, I had a really good relationship with them, but I got into Guildhall.
Yeah, one of the best schools in the world. I mean, don't
I
gloss over that.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I was 18 and I wasn't expecting to get in.
Did your parents want you to do the university thing before going full into acting, or were
they were both basically, as long as I knew the pitfalls, then they were supportive either way. But yeah, they I think at the time they would have loved me to have done it. And 32-year-old me looks back and goes, I would kind of have loved to have had the patience to go and do a 3-year degree and then train.
Yeah.
And do another second degree as an actor. I would have loved it. I just because I feel I was quite green when I went to drama school. I loved every second of it.
Yeah.
But, well, not every second. I loved it. But I was a baby when I turned up, and I was just sort of very thumbs up to everything. Didn't really have that strong a set of opinions yet at that point.
And just for the American audience listening, I want them to know, like, Guildhall is the Juilliard and the Yale of America.
Yeah, it's one of the what they call the big few.
The big three, like RADA, Bristol. Yeah,
exactly. It's a really great school, and I loved it. But I was still only 21 when I graduated, and graduated into a worldwide recession. So that was
so you got out right in 2000. Yeah, we're like the same age. So
2009. Yeah.
So is it a 2 or 3 year program?
It's a 3-year program.
Wow. And did you love it? Because, like, I went to drama school and I hated it. I dropped out.
Did you?
I went to NYU. I dropped out.
Yeah.
I went on tour with the rock band.
What made you drop out? Did you just not?
My best friend died, and then I was like doing scenes, and all these people were like fake crying, and I was like, I was enraged that people had the audacity to feign these emotions that I was actually going through. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And I sort of was like, fuck this. And honestly, I'm sober now. I went down drinking and drug rabbit hole, and then came out the other side, and I went back and finished and fell back in love with it. And now I'm back.
Oh, you went back and you finished the course?
Yeah. I dropped out for 3 years.
Wow.
And I came back and finished. Yeah.
Good for you, and good for them. That's an investment in you. That's fantastic.
I had to re-audition and reapply, but I mean, dude, I wish I went to Guildhall. So talk to me about that.
No, not at all. I think it's probably quite not a dissimilar experience. I mean, it's intense. It's vocational. It's from week one you're there 9 a.m. Well, maybe 9 a.m. to 6 or 7. It's like a good 10, 11 hours a day and it's intense. It was a small year group. It was 23 of us.
23.
Yeah.
Do you guys take a mixture of the UK and international, or is it only?
Yeah, we do. For all sorts of reasons, because it increases the, how interesting your year group is if there are different voices.
Totally.
And also, I think there was a time when it was financially encouraged because we weren't paying. There was a time when you could go to drama school or university, you get a degree without it bankrupting you, and those days are over now.
Even in the UK, they are.
Yeah, very much. And it used to be that the school would. I mean, there were amazing actors who were in our year from abroad, but also it was financially it was a good thing to get not just English actors, but now thankfully their international intake is purely has nothing to do with them needing money.
Wow, that's beautiful.
That makes it sound like I was saying that the guys in my year bought their way in. They absolutely didn't. I didn't mean that.
Well, talk to me. So when you go to,
and also my bribes didn't work.
when you go to a school like this, that's one of the best in the world. NYU was kind of like, we break you down to build you up. Is it the same kind of principle there?
Yeah, I mean, they would never say that.
Yeah.
I think they would be more like, I think the way Guildhall would put it would be more in terms of sort of stripping away the masks, the stuff, the crap that you pile on to protect yourself, or to portray an image of yourself that's more favourable or that pleases people, or that has served you, and we're all still dealing with that every day in life and in our work, aren't we? We're all just trying to pare away the clutter, strip back the crap, so that you've got a sort of a simplicity and a purity on which to build. Yeah. But I wouldn't say they went for breaking us down to build us up. I think we probably did that ourselves.
Yeah, just being young, in London,
being young in London and exhausted all the time, and not eating whatever you can afford that day, and falling in love and out of love every 5 seconds, and
Oh, I'm sure.
being in a pressure cooker of 23 people. It was, it was intense, but it was absolutely brilliant. And I there's a little part of me that goes, oh God, I'd happily do it. I'd do it again. I'd start again,
Yeah.
because I feel I'd learn more
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
My shame filter has drastically changed, and I'd do pretty much anything now.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the
Shall
older
I-
you.
Shall I grab the? I'm going to grab the
Yeah.
dog. So that he shuts up. One sec. Here I am, and he's going to be very good.
Aw, how
He
old?
may join in. He's 12 weeks old.
Oh my God! Look at
There
him.
he is. He just wanted to be part of the party.
So
Got his teddy bear.
beautiful.
Sorry, man. He'll be quiet now.
Oh no, man, no problem at all. I love it. I'm a big dog guy. So all in all, Guildhall was a good experience for you because
Yeah, absolutely.
I really, a lot of American actors who, parents, existed, tend to just jump into the business. I respect that you really wanted to get that foundation of training. Do you?
Yeah, I mean, I think also I was really squeamish and probably a bit fearful of the thought that that anyone would attach the word favor to my name.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
The nepotism thing, or?
Yeah, I was so scared of it. Whatever, insecurity, pride, everything. Just I wanted to know in myself that I was doing the job because I was doing the job and because I was good enough, and
because you earned it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can really truly enjoy something if you feel that it's just been given to you.
Yeah.
Because people either want access to your old man, or because people think that it might be might be just useful to them to have my surname in it.
Yeah.
And you sort of learn to be comfortable with yourself as you get older in general, don't you? But back then I was like, I almost considered denying that he was my dad for about 5 minutes. I was like, why would I do that? Because I'm incredibly proud of him and I love him, and I love that I've got that part of me.
One of the best actors in the world. Just like you.
Yeah, I mean, and I shut up. But I know I'm one of the best actors in the world, and I learn a huge amount from watching him. So why deny it? And you've got to become comfortable with yourself to enjoy that, I think.
And would you say it's fair assessment that, like, to be taken seriously in the West End or by the Old Vic or any of those, that one of those drama schools is quite imperative? Because even in New York, it's the same thing, to get on.
It's not imperative, but it really does help.
It does help open some doors.
Because, it helps open doors. It helps, obviously, you're doing really good work there, hopefully. And so agents are seeing your good work, and hopefully you'll get a really good agent. And it's absolutely not the only way in, but it gave me the foundation of confidence in my craft, and it gives you a certain degree of I don't want to say trustworthiness, but reliability.
Yeah.
That you may already have by not going to drama school, but just that sense of, oh, okay, you made it through 3 years at a really tough drama school. You came out of it having done some half decent performances. You've got a really good agent, and
people in London are excited about it.
We can count on you to give this a go, and that's what we all really want, isn't it? Someone to say, right, give you a little vote of confidence and have faith in you to do your thing.
And so when you emerged 23 from Guildhall, where was Ferdinand?
21.
21, okay.
21. Wow. With only half a head of grey hair.
That's amazing.
21. Yeah, 20.
Yeah. So when you finished, then what was the landscape looking like for you? Were you like, I want to do theater, then I'll worry about?
Yeah, I really did. I wanted to, not least because at the time, training for screen in any English drama school wasn't really a big thing. They've got way more. They
didn't have it at all.
Well, they did, but it was really it was a footnote. It was really a side thing. It was like,
it wasn't a year of a program.
Oh God, no. It was very much do a couple of scenes on a camcorder and hope for the best and say it quieter. So I felt when I graduated that I was really confident on stage, but I wasn't on screen.
Yeah.
So it took me quite a long time to feel I mean, I've had the luxury of learning on the job,
Yeah.
which is an absolute luxury because, you know, there's things that I've been quite objectively quite naff in, quite terrible in, but well, maybe not objective, quite
Yeah.
Subjectively. Well, things that basically I watch and I go, okay, you didn't quite know, you hadn't learned that bit of your craft yet.
Yeah.
So I've had the real luxury and privilege of being able to have another few goes at it. But you know, it takes it. I know it's boring, isn't it, Gilbert? It takes the time it takes. You've got to. And it's a luxury for me to have been able to be in this job for 11 years now.
Yeah.
And to have been able to make ends meet doing it.
And
so yeah, I came out and was very much going, no, I want to do theatre and really build up my confidence.
Hamlet was like one of the first things you did, right?
Yeah. Hamlet was my third job overall, but I got it basically at the same time I got my second job. So I was doing another play at the National Theatre called Welcome to Thebes.
Yeah.
With David Harewood and Nicky Muka-Bird, and it was amazing, and Bruce Myers who passed recently. And on press night of that show, Nick Heitner who directed Hamlet, asked me to be in Hamlet. So I was feeling like 2010. In 2010, I was such a legend. In my mind. Yeah, you know what I mean? You come out, you're working in. I used to dream when I was a little kid coming to visit London. Hello, mate. I would walk across Waterloo Bridge, which I don't know. Have you ever been to the National? Have you been to London?
Yeah.
So,
I haven't been inside, but I've been to the outside.
Right. So you're walking across Waterloo Bridge, and I'd look at that brutalist building at the National, and I'd go, you know, one day I will work there, and I will never moan about being there. And I think most people who work at the National feel that way because you get very few people moaning in that building because they love it. You're really well looked after. You've got a really cushy schedule because there's plays in rep.
Yeah.
So they are, you know, you're moving between being on stage and then having 3, 4, 5 days off and still being paid.
Wow.
So everyone it's relatively cushy, but you've got the most amazing actors and creatives around you pushing you.
And National Theatre films them ultimately, right?
Yeah, they do. So we were the first or the second one, I think, that they ever did Hamlet.
Wow.
That they did as an NT Live, and I was understudying Rory Kinnear, who was playing Hamlet.
Okay.
And his first kid was due the day we did NT Live, and I remember on the first day of rehearsals, Nick, who was directing it, came up to me and went, "Oh, hi, Freddie. Just so you know, if Rory's baby comes when we do the live broadcast, I've said you're going to do it. I said you're going to do it." I was like, okay. All right.
So you went on as Hamlet for the live broadcast?
I didn't because Rory's partner Pandora crossed her legs for another day or so, and
that's amazing.
he came later. But it was so that stint was a year at the National, and I was playing a lovely part in Rosencrantz, but I'd also was occasionally doing Hamlet, and I think for any actor, if someone said, what would you tell any actor to do? It sounds incredibly pretentious, but I'd say just, even if you're never going to do it, learn Hamlet or learn chunks of it, because I felt my brain stretching. I felt my brain growing and my capacity for thought expand just through having had to explore that text and internalize that text and make it mine. And it's a play that is always really close to my heart because it's the play that my parents met on. My dad was playing Hamlet at the Royal Shakespeare Company, and my mum was the assistant director and then took over. And that's how they met. Weird circumstances, but they did. And so it's a very personal play to our family, and to have been able to spend a year in its company was bliss. And it was only really after that I started doing more screen work, and of course, inevitably was doing Shakespeare on screen because
of course
it's all you can trust me to do.
That's amazing though. So you feel like one of the reoccurring things I talk to actors about in the shows is about finding your voice, and it sounds like in Guildhall you left with like knowing your theatrical voice. Talk to me about finding your cinematic voice. What was the process like that for you?
Victoria was a massive part of developing my voice and my confidence, because I think by being in something, being with a character in a story for so long, for 3 years, you really, the camera sort of becomes almost incidental. Do you know what I mean? You sort of drop some of the acting in a really good way.
You can be literally just
you can start to be, because you're not having to manufacture something every day. In terms of, right, who am I? You still have to work on what do you want and why am I here and what's stopping me getting it. You know, your basics, but you've given yourself a foundation, and I think by having that foundation, I started to have a real confidence that I could be in front of camera and hold my own. Totally. Even if it's not my show, even if it's not my film, I could trust myself more. And then of course, you know, the reality of the industry hits, and I finished. Stop eating a water bottle. And then of course, the reality of the industry hits, and you realise that you're not going to work all the time, and you're balancing having had a lovely job for a while with the realities of the industry, and you know, I think before I got Mank, I hadn't worked for about a year.
Wow. Yeah, because Victoria ended in 2019, right? You guys did 23.
Yeah, so I finished filming it in 2018, I think, and then got Mank in 2019. So yeah, it'd been a year, and my English agent and I had parted ways very amicably, but we had, and so I was without an agent, and that thing, you know, that we touched on earlier of trying to separate your self-worth from work is really difficult when you are the product. You know, it's not like you can.
It's a painting where someone judges the painting. You're the art.
It's not like a job where if something goes wrong at work or you don't do your job right, or you don't get the promotion or you don't get the job, it's maybe because, you know, someone was more qualified or whatever. It's you have been rejected as the actor, which is you just have to get used to, and you also have to not numb yourself to, because you have to feel it. It has to hurt, because you have to care, I think. And I think if you try and trick yourself into not caring, then it's a disaster, and that's the road to cynicism. And who wants to be a cynic in this world? You know?
We all know those bitter actors. So how did you? You know, I know music's a part of your life. Did that help buoy you during that?
I mean, it always has. But just trying to stay sane, keep a little bit of structure in your life, keep talking, and be honest with yourself and your pals and your loved ones about when you're feeling crap. And trying to stay vaguely in shape. I mean, physically, of course, you know, staying fit, but I mean, staying sharp, staying enthusiastic, trying not to hate the industry that you feel is wronging you.
Constant. Yeah, I get it.
And staying sharp, so that when after a year of not working and feeling like with every job you don't get, the pressure piles on. And you know what I mean? Each time you don't get it, the next one becomes more important. And so making sure that after a long period of that, you're still ready, so that if, thanks to the Lord and the universe, you get an email saying David Fincher wants you to do an audition, don't go, well, why would I bother doing that? All right. You go, okay, well, look, I mean, it's been a long time, and I may well not get it, because he can have his pick of everyone in the world. But
when you parted ways,
I can at least know that I'm going to do a good job.
When you parted ways with your English agent, at that point, was your mind opening up to America? Because like the content.
I'd had an American agent. I'm with Stephen Hirsch at Gersh.
The best.
And I love them. And he's in the New York office, and so I've got, you know, such an affinity to the New York side of the industry. And I'd been represented by them since the first season of Victoria had come out, and Stephen had watched it on a plane and been an enthusiast. Amazing. So I'd had two teams, which was fantastic. So I didn't feel totally stranded. When I was sort of Son's agent in the UK, I've now, you know, I've got a new agent who's absolutely wonderful as well in the UK here. But so I did have someone looking out for me in the States when I got the whole Gersh team. But no, I was agentless in the UK when Stephen sent through the scenes. Well, sent through the initial tape for Mank.
So it was a
Um,
self-tape. You didn't,
it was a self tape, and I self taped for I taped for two parts initially. My
you
part,
played
Irving Thalberg.
Irving, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Irving Thalberg, and I also taped for oh, good. Dog's done a pee on the floor. I also, so I taped for Irving Thalberg, and I taped for John Houseman, who's played by Sam Troughton, who is
Wow.
amazing. He's in the trailer you will have seen him as the the British guy who's encouraging Mank to get to work and
Okay,
say,
got it.
tell the story.
Yeah.
He was the producer of Citizen Kane.
Were you
And
aware of, like, obviously being in the UK, you have this amazing, like, you grew up in Stratford upon Avon,
yeah,
Shakespeare. Were you aware, having a father who's an actor and a mother who's a director, were you aware of like the American Hollywood classics, like Citizen Kane?
yeah, oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I saw Kane first as a teenager, and I remember expecting it to be really dry.
Yeah.
And
And
one
not
of those
hold
films
up.
that
Yeah.
well, just to be
Yeah.
like, what, like a tonic film, like one of those
Yeah.
films that you should watch because it's informed loads of other films,
Like The
and
Godfather or Clockwork Orange.
well,
Or, yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
but they're amazing films. But
Yeah.
some film that actually that you actually won't enjoy, and it'll be quite
Yeah.
pretentious. But it's not. Kane is funny, and
Yeah.
it's short. It's not a long film. Citizen Kane. In my mind, it was a 4-hour film. It's really not. It's So yeah, I was very much aware of them, and I'd been in the Thalberg building, which the Irving Thalberg building at Sony,
Wow.
but not really thought about who he was until the audition came around, and I read about him, and I got totally obsessed. But yeah, I initially auditioned for him and Houseman, and then I was at was at a music festival here, and
Glastonbury or
no, I wasn't at
wow.
Glastonbury that year. I was at Wilderness, which is a very zhuzhy festival. I was in my defence, I was performing.
Okay,
it's
all right,
like
touche.
it's a lovely festival, Wilderness.
And
but it's
for
not,
those listening,
like,
do a quick plug. Where can they find your music?
oh no, I wasn't performing music. I was acting.
Oh, you were acting. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
No one's paid me to be a musician for a long time.
it's coming.
Been many
We'll do a
moons
record
since
together.
I got money for that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was at Wilderness performing a thing called Letters Live, which is amazing. Actually, we did a performance in New York.
Oh, wow.
Great correspondence throughout history. So we performed that to drunk people in a field at this festival, and I got an email or a voicemail, I can't remember, from my agent Stephen saying David Fincher really liked one of your tape, your tape for Irving, and he's personally sending over 16 pages for you to tape on Monday. And I was like, okay, so I'm not going to be getting drunk tonight.
Yeah.
I'm not having a big last night at this festival.
No mushrooms today.
No, not that I would ever. But yeah. So I was like, right, we're going home and drink lots of water, and then they were Lorraine Mayfield, who's the casting director, was absolutely amazing.
Wow.
And we had a long chat before I did the tape just about what David was looking for, and basically she did that thing, as I mentioned to you earlier, of giving you that vote of confidence and belief of going, look, he doesn't really have any notes. He thinks you're kind of great, but he wants to see you do more of the part.
Yeah, totally.
So at that point you're going, okay, it's not like a test of my ability, it's a test of my suitability.
Yeah, totally.
So did that, and then I was told I had to install this app that I'd never heard of called Zoom.
Oh, wow. Pre-COVID?
It was pre everything. It was my first.
Wow.
It was. You didn't even exist, dog. It was the first time I'd ever heard of Zoom.
Yeah, I didn't even hear of it until this pandemic.
Exactly.
I knew Skype.
How I wish I'd bought shares in Zoom back then.
Yeah.
Thought,
Oh God.
Well, if Fincher uses it, it's probably going to be some piece of tech that everyone's going to be using at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did a Zoom with David, where we basically read the whole part of sitting where I'm sitting now.
Yeah.
Sweating profusely, and of course my webcam broke, because why wouldn't it?
Yeah, the one time you need it to work.
Exactly, the most high stakes audition of your career. Of course, the webcam's going to break. Yeah. So it did. So I was sweating and plugging it in and unplugging out the back. David didn't care. He was just like, "Oh, you disappeared. Oh, I'll carry on talking." So I'm not entirely sure of half of what he said on that meeting, but we chatted for an hour or so. I then lay on the floor behind me, where I am now, thinking, oh, I have a migraine. I was
Yeah.
incredibly tense and going, God, this one's gonna hurt when I don't get it, or if I
Yeah.
don't get it.
So your mind was kind of already going to that existential, like,
Well, of
yeah,
course, of
yeah,
course. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I cared so much,
Yeah, of course.
and I was going like, I've allowed myself to dream about this, but I'm not going to allow myself to believe it.
Yeah.
And I still didn't allow myself to believe it until the visa came through, and I still didn't allow myself to fully believe it until I watched the final cut today, of the film, and you check that you're still very much there.
Yeah.
I lay on the floor and was like, oh man, that was amazing. I can tell everyone I've had a Zoom with one of my favorite directors in the universe. Fell asleep by about like 8:30 p.m. I'm so exhausted.
Yeah.
And then woke up to a text at 4 a.m. from my agent saying you're going to be doing the film, or you got the part or something. And
oh my
I poked my girlfriend and was like, I got the part, and she was like, shut up, I'm sleeping. And then she was like,
keeping you humble.
yeah, exactly. But then there's this pause where I think she was like, thought she was dreaming something. She went, oh,
well, yeah, game
yeah.
changer.
So, and then it was just, my God, it was the most amazing process. It was,
because he's a master of takes. Like, what was it like working?
Yeah,
where you theater where it's one take and you get one shot. What was it like working with? I don't know Victoria, because it was such a period piece. If you guys had to do a lot of takes,
well, we did a fair amount, but
yeah.
Nothing in comparison. I don't think anyone does as many as David, because I think also on Fincher there was just a bit on Victoria there was a big turnaround. We had to get through a lot of material.
Right.
We're making 10, 11, 12 episodes per block, or not per block, per season.
Yeah.
So you got to keep moving. David is. He's got the kind of process where I think you either buy into it and you have an amazing time and you work hard, or you're utterly miserable because you're working so hard.
Yeah.
And I bought into it. Like, I'm a sucker for hard work. It's give me 1 second to pick this thing up. Excuse me, Mr. Dog. You cannot eat that. I'm a sucker for working hard. It's the little nerd in me. And he works you really hard. I think if you resist that, you're going to have a miserable time, because you're going to be like, oh, I thought I had it 15 takes ago. But you trust his taste. I trust his taste. He's got amazing taste, and you trust that if we hadn't eventually got it, we'd still be there now filming it.
Yeah. And just so like doing theater over and over again, it's like you got to find something new in it every time.
You got to find something new and fresh.
Yeah.
And it is exhausting, because even if my character was a very frail person, so he doesn't move much. Most of my personality was based around sitting very still. Which is I'm always on board with. But you'll do a take, and then he'll instantly come over and give you 3, 4, 5 notes. Then you'll do another 3, 4, 5 notes. So you're piling on these notes, and you're thinking, oh God, I mean, you sort of got this curve of enthusiasm and energy, and then it does dip, because you're going, I don't even know if I'm acting anymore, because there's so much to deal with, and I'm doing this for the 40th time, and where am I? Who am I? And then you sort of, the curve comes back up, and you go, oh, I think I'm playing a note that he gave me 4 hours ago without I've internalized it.
Yeah.
And then pretty much always his last note on the last couple of takes would be, okay, let's do one just fast and simple, just faster and simpler. Just forget everything. Just give me one take that's fast and simple. And you sort of, it's all embedded, and you're not really acting by that point.
Yeah.
And it's an absolutely wonderful process. And I felt like I came away from work every day a smidge of a better actor than I went in.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Which, oh man, isn't it just?
Yeah.
Isn't it just to go to bed tired?
Yeah.
Wake up energized.
Yeah. And
come out of work feeling like you've done a workout, and that actually you're a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
And to be in that world, and also you're sparring with
the best actors in the
with the best actors on the land.
Yeah.
So and the best crew, crucially, everyone. It was like military. Everyone was absolutely at the top of their game. So you have to be at your best to in order to say to yourself, you know what, I've earned this to this day at work. You know, it's not the kind of job that you can, or that I think you'd have a shit time if you turned up having not rested and a bit hungover, and you know, just go, I'll phone this in. If you phone this in, you're not going to get away with it on a Fincher set, because he'll know, and he'll just go, you know what, I can't be bothered with you. You know, he keeps working until he's found something that that he's really happy with. And I used to, people have said, oh, it's Fincher, you're going to be doing 100 takes, and I imagined it being just this visual obsession,
monotonous, you know.
I just imagined it being him just getting the look perfect, but it's not like that with him. It's the first 4 or 5 takes are about sort of perfecting the shot and you know, nudging the camera a millimeter that way, putting your weight a half an ounce onto your left arse cheek more, but then beyond that, he is like laser focused on your performance. He's studying your performance. He's a real actor's director, and he I think he understands actors, and he understands how to get
what he needs
from them. And it's tough and it's relentless, but it's never, in my experience, it's never cruel, and it's never sadistic. You know, it's I trust you, I've hired you because I trust you, and I trust your endurance, and I know you can get what I need from this, so let's just keep working together to find the intonation on that syllable that we need to tell the story. And it's quite a heightened, he said to us in rehearsals once, he was like, it's not Sorkin dialogue, this. It's not just the dialogue that you rattle through. Exposition. It's not Social Network dialogue. It's very different. It's a heightened feel. It's a period piece.
And was it pitched to you, the stylistic trailer that we all saw today? Was it pitched to you as that? Like, did you know you were shooting that movie?
Well, I knew he was shooting in black and white.
Yeah.
I knew that it's a script that he'd wanted to make for a long time. His dad wanted to make it in the 90s. He wanted to make it, I think just after Seven.
Wow.
Long time ago. But no one would let him make a film.
Have the money about, totally.
Yeah, and I think black and white felt like a gamble back then.
Yeah. Before The Artist,
whereas,
you know.
Before The Artist, Fincher had only made a couple of films. Whereas now, you know, Netflix are happy to experiment, and they trust him as anyone should. So I knew it was going to be a black and white film. I didn't know who else was going to be in it at all apart from Gary, until I got invited to the read through.
Wow.
And I saw sort of the cast list on that. The read through, which was done on Zoom as well.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Fincher invented Zoom, man. I didn't know
I
this.
I think he did. I think he's the coder.
That's so great.
He's the secret coder for Zoom. So yeah, I didn't know anything apart from that it was David and that it was Gary until we did the read through, and everyone's names started popping up, and I was like, oh, okay, right,
This is something. Yeah,
this is really something. I mean, it was already something with those two on board.
Yeah.
And the script is fantastic, and it's a script that where if I'd read it blind, not seeing that David was directing it, and you give me the script and said, right, 100 guesses as to who's directing this, I wouldn't have said David Fincher, because it's got a totally different quality to his other films.
From his a big deviation.
Yeah, it's unashamedly a period piece. It's unashamedly of a world, you know. But it's not just one of those like. Yes, of course, it's a love letter to early Hollywood, but it's not just it's not just doing it for the sake of it. It's doing it to serve a very important story he's trying to tell.
Yeah,
about a life and about a moment in American politics and American culture. So I mean, the script jumps off as being very witty and funny and silly in places, and the deeper, more gritty bits are kind of sublimated, and they are more subtle, and it was only in making the film that I really discovered those. You know, the comments on what it is to blow your life in the way that Herman Mankiewicz did, and so yeah, I knew it was going to be a big classy period piece, but I mean, it's only when you get there and you see the attention to detail that that his crew put in, that he and his crew, I think, he demands a level of commitment from everyone that brings everyone up. So from the makeup department through to the costume department, my costumes in that film are sensational. The art direction is absolutely insane, especially for a film that no one's going to see in color.
Yeah,
the richness of it was absolutely gorgeous. And to Eric Messerschmidt, the DOP, who's incredibly shot Mindhunter.
Oh wow! I love the visuals on Mindhunter. That's amazing.
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah.
He was the gaffer on Gone Girl.
Wow! So he rose through the ranks.
He does that a lot. He promotes from the inside.
That's amazing to hear that.
He would occasionally say to people who were sort of wanting to move through the departments or change department to one of the grips one day, he would be like, okay, I've seen your show reel. I think you're really good. You're a grip on this film, but tomorrow I'd like you to operate C camera. We need 3 cameras tomorrow. Tomorrow you're operating C camera. He'll give people a chance to step up.
So it sounds very nurturing. That's amazing.
I think it is. I mean, he's tough on them. He's tough on them, and sometimes he's a bit like an army major, barking at them, but always with love. But always with love, and always sending himself up. He'll be the first person to be at the receiving end of one of his jokes. So yeah, it's only when you're really there that you go, right, this is going to be this is going to be something, really something. And they had a camera built for them. What? I read with a monochrome sensor, a black and white sensor, so that there's no sort of post conversion into black and white. It was all in camera.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, it's just, and I'm a geek. I'm a nerd.
Well, so, that's why we do this, man.
So to be immersed in that every day, you're just saying to everyone on set, even if you don't say explicitly, you're saying, teach me what, like, how do you get so good at what you do? You're sort of thinking to everyone.
Yeah.
And it was just bloody great.
That's so beautiful.
And the cast, there's a sort of core ensemble of about 8, 9, 10 of us.
Yeah.
Who were just a joy. And there's a fair handful of Brits in there, I think, maybe because of the period nature of it.
Yeah. And the better actor.
and we're just, a better class of actor. Yeah. No, I mean, there's me, there's Charles Dance, there's Tuppence Middleton, there's Sam Troughton, there's Tom Burke.
Oh, wow.
So there's lots and lots of Brits in that sort of central group. And it's always nice to get out there and be like,
have some friends. Yeah.
Well, even, I knew quite a few of them before, some better than others, but you get out there and you're like, hey, we're out there, we're doing this, and we're jobbing actors, we're Brits who are doing all right, who've been trusted to come over and tell a story that's very, very American.
Yeah, that's so beautiful, and I'm so proud of you for doing that, and I can't wait to see it, man. I'm curious, so then where was your head at when you emerged from this amazing project? Did you want to take some time off, or did you want to go right back in?
No, who wants to take time off when you get forced time off in this show? It's like, I think I'll take a break by being unemployed.
Yeah.
No, I came out of the bulk of my shooting finished, I think, end of January or very beginning of February. My girlfriend and I went, very naively went, we've both got a little gap, so let's go on holiday. So we went to Japan for a month, which was
how was that?
Incredible.
Oh,
it was amazing.
That's my dream.
Oh, it's I'll send you our itinerary.
Please do.
But then it got called. It was always a possibility, but got called back to do reshoots. So I had to leave Tokyo just 3 days early. So still got 28 days out of the month done. So went back to do reshoots in February, March, just as the world was coming to a halt. So got back home to London on something like the 8th of March, and
by then lockdown was...
lockdown was the 23rd, and we probably should have been earlier. We locked down too late here, in my humble opinion, way too late. And
have you been okay health wise? Everything?
Yeah, I mean, touch wood, I have. Not everyone in my friends and family have. I've got a couple of pals who've been really poorly, and there's been some fragility and the death in the family. It's like, it's a rough time.
I'm sending you love, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
Thanks, buddy. I mean, it's as much as the illness, it's the inability to be with people who are poorly. Yeah. That's what sucks.
The intimacy.
My uncle passed away a couple of weeks ago, and
I'm so sorry,
and was very poorly, and because of what's going on, couldn't be with him. So that's really tough, and it's really tough for a lot of people. People have had to not be with their very close loved ones as they died. And I can't begin to think how painful that must be for people, and not go to their funerals and stuff. But so I came back thinking, it's looking a bit hairy, but I have just finished a David Fincher film. I'm probably about as employable as I'm ever going to be.
Yeah, totally, man.
Cut to the industry entirely shutting down.
Oh, I know.
But it's the gift is that I was part of something creative that is going to exist at some point.
Yeah,
and to have that in the back of my mind through these strange, long, turgid months.
Well, and also the beauty of it being, there's not going to be a lot of films out this year, and this will be one of the few films that gets.
Well, absolutely, but even if there were loads of them, just the knowledge that something I helped to create is going to exist.
Yeah,
is such a nice feeling to keep you when you're thinking, God, I'm never going to work again, or can the theaters ever reopen, or can filming restart? You're worrying about all those things, but at least just a little thing in the back of my mind going, there is something that you made that you're really proud of that is going to exist, and that you and your friends can be proud of and enjoy. And even if I can't have them round to watch it in my front room for safety purposes, we can all press play at the same time.
Yeah, totally, and have that shared experience together that we all love. So talk to me, man. What's next? I know some things are picking back up there. Do you have an idea of?
They're just starting. I've been shooting a crime drama over here, which is really lovely to be back in work.
Contemporary.
Yeah.
Great.
It's a long running but really good, sturdy crime drama that has lots of really good guest actors in it, and it's a real
amazing,
happy set, and a really lovely to just be back on a film set, on a TV set. And there are some other things that are ticking away, and are like, if this film can be made with restrictions pending, then it'll be happening. Or, who knows? I'm just trying to let myself enjoy the ride as much as I can, because this is a project like this has not happened to me before. It may never happen again. Who knows?
It will.
But you can't take it for granted. If you're there going, I'm going to be in loads of
I
these,
love the humility.
Then sure, you may well be in loads of them, and that may be what makes you be in loads of them. But you won't enjoy the ride. And I'm just trying to enjoy every second of knowing that a director that I grew up as an actor obsessing over his work.
And
I've got to be in his presence. I mean, he called me on what I thought was going to be my last day before he came back to reshoots, and I just sort of went and gave him a hug and was like, I've been a pig in shit on your set. I've loved every second of it. And he just looked at me and he went, well, you're a fucking masochist.
I love it, man. I love that you had that experience. I love how grounded and buoyed you are, man. And you're going to do so many amazing things. And I could talk to you for hours, but I got a final few questions for you, brother.
Hit me.
During this time, that we all had to kind of be alone with ourselves, what's kept you inspired?
The basics.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds really unexciting, but making myself get up exercise, talk to the people I love,
Yeah.
go out and dig in the garden, which I'm lucky to have. I'm not, it's not like there's a family of 6 of us trapped in 2 rooms.
Yeah.
So letting myself be comfortable with the thought that it's okay to just sort of survive at the moment.
Yeah.
And the thriving part can come later.
Totally.
Stay safe and sane and comfortable, and the rest of it will take care of itself. So that's what's kept me, if not inspired, then sane.
Yeah.
I have, missed, I don't know if you guys have Wind in the Willows, Toad of Toad Hall, Poop Poop. I get the Toad from Toad of Toad Hall was always having some great idea which he'd commit to for about half an hour. So that's very much me. I'd always be like, right, my next project is, I haven't completed my magnum opus. I haven't written my great novel, but
yeah, it's coming.
Well, no, I also, that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself to go, right, everyone else has achieved so much in lockdown. I'm a failure for not having written War and Peace.
Hey, I'm hosting a podcast and auditioning, so dude, it could be way more.
It's great. I wish I were, but I don't have. I meant
that in a very belittling way of me.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't, because I think it's a wonderful thing to do, to connect to people who
celebrate people like you.
Yeah. Well, to celebrate each other, I think, because it's a like when you're lucky enough to work, it is the best job in the world, and it's the easiest job in the world. But it's really fucking tough when you're not.
Well, that brings me to my final question for all those unemployed actors out there, that, theaters close and we don't know when we're going to get a chance to do this again. I know this can be it, but any words of wisdom you would have?
Oh God, I wish I had anything, because I'd say it to myself, but all I will say is, if we can get support from our governments to keep these institutions open and ticking over until it's safe for people to return, know that what you've got to offer, what you bring this world through storytelling and through art and through creation and through escapism, and offering that to people, it's valid and it's important, and it's going to be incredibly important for people as we emerge from this, because I think if it's not already hit, there's going to be a mental health crisis in this 100%, world.
Yeah.
People who've been lonely or scared or isolated, and are going to need the arts more than ever. Yeah,
because it's the practice of our humanity. That's what the arts...
take their minds off things, or to help process things.
Yeah.
Or to, unlock big things in ourselves. People are going to need art. So know that, your work is valid and is treasured and important, and can change someone's day and therefore change someone's life. And we've got to, those of us who are lucky to have worked recently, it's our job to keep shouting from the rooftops that the work is valid at every level, in the theatre, on screen, in the galleries, in panto, in dance, everything. And to tell the people in power that they're gonna need us eventually, and they're gonna need the people who haven't worked for a while. So if you're lucky and you've managed to sort of go up a couple of rungs on the career ladder, send the ladder back down,
give back.
Remember that but for the grace of whatever, go you, and that there are 15, 20, 100 other actors who would kill to have done carried a bucket in the background of Mank, to have held a fork in a dinner scene. And so remember that we're not taking it for granted.
Ferdinand Kingsley, man, I have so much love for you. You're not only such an incredible actor, but you're a great guy, man, and you're going to go so far. Dude. And let me know when you're in New York. Let's grab a cup of coffee.
Absolutely. I'll be there as soon as I'm legally allowed.
Yeah, we'll write the magnum opus together,
Yeah, sure thing, man. And we'll jam.
Yeah. But, dude, I'm so excited for you, man. Mank's coming out December 4th. And let's do this again soon, brother. And stay positive.
I'd love to talk to you again. I hope you enjoy the film, and I hope you're well and happy and safe.
Yeah. Are you on Instagram? I'll shoot you a follow.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Dude, love you, brother. Thank you so much.
See you soon, buddy. Loads of love. Take care.
Soon.
I am thrilled to announce that An Actor Despairs is partnering with a wonderful CBD company called Kind Farms. Everyone out there has heard of CBD. I started taking it a few years ago when I first started getting sober and to help with my anxiety. Sadly, as one can do, I was overtraining in the gym, and a friend recommended a topical and a tincture to help with the pain. I tried it. It was okay. However, recently, I was introduced to a product that has really changed my life. Not only has it helped me with anxiety, but I am stronger than I have ever been. I'm able to carry out lifts my body used to prevent me from doing. Kind Farm products have single-handedly changed my life athletically and personally. They utilize 100% local licensed farmers, organic cultivation, and CO2 extraction for superior CBD. Kind Farms is turning CBD to a kind alternative to pharmaceuticals. Let's transform Tobacco Row into Hemp Row. If you want to get involved, please reach out. Together, we can make a difference. You can use my code RYAN10 for 10% off. You can find them on Instagram at Kind Farms Inc., all one word. That's KINDPHARMSINC, and their website is kindfarmsinc.com. Once again, my code for 10% off is RYAN10.